Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkey with Startup. Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkey with StartupTrading.com. It is 8:41 Eastern Time on Monday, July 27th, 2020. So let's look at the news flow of the week and the earnings a little bit closer this week than we normally do. I think this week just has a basic flow set up to it. So if we look at the earnings after in the news, I'll show you that Monday and Tuesday really don't have anything. The real news for the week starts Wednesday at 2 with the Fed and 2:30 at the press conference, and then after that, after the bell on before the bell on Wednesday, we have Boeing, which could end up moving the market. After the bell on Wednesday, we also have Facebook, and then Thursday before the bell, then we have the advanced GDP, which can be red star event times a couple, and then Thursday after the bell is going to be the biggest single earnings release of before or after the bell for the earnings season. We're going to have Apple, Amazon, and Google after the bell on Thursday. So, and then Friday, really the market's just going to be reacting to these earnings. So, Amazon's likely to have good earnings. Google, it's hard to say how their advertising has been faring. You know, if people are trying to do more or less. And then you do have the YouTube subscriptions for their TV content, and they have raised the price on that. And my guess is they probably raised the price on that because the quarter wasn't looking so hot. So then you have Apple, which it's hard to say how that would be. So basically, I think Amazon is going to be the one that holds everyone up temporarily. But remember, it's going to be more about their forward guidance as well. So we'll see what goes on with them. And everyone but Apple is basically overvalued here as well. So we'll see how that shakes out. But so coming into the week, right? Going into Wednesday at 2, I think you can really divide the earning, the whole week. You do have Boeing, Wednesday before the bell, but you could really, I don't think that's going to really drive the market. It might, drive the Dow a little bit that day, but it's not that big of a component for the Dow as it used to be, right? Since it's had its fall from grace with the max. So as we look at it, I think you can really divide the week up into two sections. Before Wednesday at 2 and after Wednesday at 2. So before Wednesday at 2, I think we're in a little bit of a holding pattern where we might get some shakeouts lower, we might get some shakeouts higher, and then relatively, I think we're going to be unchanged going into Wednesday at 2 when it's all said and done. And then we'll see how it shakes out from Wednesday at 2 until Friday's closing bell. I think things are going to be a little bit more volatile, and you're going to have to be a lot more nimble in your trading. You're going to have to be patient for your entries and exits. You're definitely going to need stops on the server. It won't be a time to be complacent with them. And, you can always sit on your hands. So one other thing that we've got going on this week is Congress is supposed to be passing the second stimulus bill, right? They want the president to sign it this week. So we have all week, we're going to have stimulus headline risk mixed in with this. So the market has a history of when they see free money on the table and they don't think they're getting it, it throws a temper tantrum, right? So it can smoke down based on some congressional news, just to scare Congress into giving the market what the market wants, which is more free money. So don't forget, that's always on the table. It's going to be harder for that to happen after Wednesday at 2 between Friday's close. But before then, the market can play a little bit with Congress's head, in my opinion. So looking back at Friday, we basically had a balancing day, except for the Russell. And the Russell did balance, slightly to lower, but it was definitely a downtrending day. The other three indexes basically bounced right around the overnight value area for most of the session, and it was below the previous day's value. So looking at the overnight action today and getting into what's going on now, 31.75 is the overnight range. And if I look at the level 4s, and we're just going back here and we're looking at basically, a 30-day 15-minute chart. And as we look at that, we can see, where the market's been churning back and forth and whatnot. And this is what I call the vaccine gap that happened basically on July 15th. This is where we spiked up because we had some good clinical trials coming out of a vaccine. We haven't been able to take out the low from that gap and really get back in under this previous line, and there's some repair that needs to take place on there, and the market just hasn't went there yet. We'll see if it, I'm sure it'll repair it this week. So in my opinion, if we can if we don't scare Congress too much and it's just a balancing Monday and Tuesday, I don't think we're going to get much below this 31.71 level. If we decide to scare Congress, we could rapidly one of these days, end up going down to this basically 30.80 level. And I think that would maybe incite something, and we'll see if that causes enough fear and pandemonium or not. If not, the market can take it lower, but I think we'll be back up basically to where we are. If we fall below the 30.61 half before Wednesday at 2, I'll have to reevaluate my thinking, but I think we can at least hold this section, and we'll probably open at 2 o'clock closer to the 71 level if we do, get ugly into this zone. If otherwise we're just balancing, we might test even a little bit higher than last week, and then it makes it easier to fall. So with that said, let's look at the recent action overnight. You can see the overnight high right there at 23. Don't forget we have a split distribution still from Thursday, so it's basically below 32.5 and above 46. If we look at all the indexes and how they're faring in the overnight session, we can see the Russell is in value. It's at value area low right now. It traded the point of control, coming into basically the last 25 minutes. It basically lost 6 points, and it's just at value area low now, which is, potentially support. And if you see the gap fill is below that, right? If we look at where the gap fills are for all these, first let's just look at where we're at. We're in value, above the previous day for the NASDAQ, above value, but inside the previous days for the ES, inside value for the Dow. So as we look at that, if you look at where the gaps are, below value, inside value, and below value. One thing else for the NASDAQ, it had 3 different distributions on Thursday. We did not even get back in to the second distribution, so there's a distribution that was from basically 10,607 down, and then there was another one from 10,650 quarter up through 10,724, and then there was another one above 10,725. So that's really the levels that you want to watch for the NASDAQ. So let's look at the Russell and the Dow. So for the Russell, we're really looking at, just basically we're still at this long-term support, which is right around 1462.60, and then below that 1451.50, and above that 1478.90. So really just status quo in here, nothing going on, nothing to see. So looking at the Dow, we have lost, 26,510, and there was a split distribution Thursday on it as well, so we'll look at that in just a minute. 26,510, and then this 26,300 basically is the bigger line in the sand. I have it marked at 297. So this going below that is going to open up some more downside action, and we could just slowly churn in here. But remember, Boeing is Wednesday before the bell. So 25,750 is the next major support under there, and you got a split on your node right at 26,000. So I think that's going to be a fairly firm line in the sand for now. And then above we're still trying to breach this 27,100. So looking back at all the indexes, so I said I'd show you on the Dow where that was. So basically the split distribution for the Dow is at 26,632 is, what it's staying under, and then above that there's a, nothing really going on in between there. 26,718 is above. So that's the split for the Dow. So watch these splits, and you'll see if you start getting up in these upper distributions for the S&P 500, you start getting in this middle or the third one up for the Nasdaq, and you start getting above this one, we're probably gonna do some higher prints and then potentially roll back into FOMC. Otherwise, I think these are going to be things that we try to challenge at Wednesday at 2. So we'll see how today goes. We'll see if it just ends up being another blah day, or if we get some shake and bakes. But don't look for a lot to happen unless the market wants to scare Congress between now and Wednesday at 2. Look for just some choppy bouncing, wavy action, maybe testing the high end of the range, the low end of the range, testing some of these split distributions. But don't look for any conviction and any trends to start that are going to lead to anywhere, that are going to have continuation before Wednesday at 2. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope this helps. If you like this technical analysis, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you tomorrow.